in front of me, and I was just having some crackers. I'm a mom. That's how those mafia guys are. So there's just ice cold. Yeah, he was still alive when I was burying him. I buried him up to his neck, cut his eyelids off, covered his head in syrup, and faced him in the sun, let the ants have at him, and I was just sitting back there eating a bowl of fruit. And then we went and we robbed 3 banks, and that was just a regular Wednesday in the mafia. Oh, they have a very is he getting paid for that?
I know it's spelled differently.
It is. It's Barry White.
That's a Barry White.
I'm feeling good, y'all. All right, back to the phone call. Man, I could play with that all day. I don't hear the phone though in there. There we go. Oh,
yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, you got to get right up on there.
Got to get right up on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I might just keep all that.
You can have all that.
Might just keep you playing around with it.
I'll do the Mafia Guy documentaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that again.
You've been watching some
Am I allowed to take this out?
No. I'd rather keep
Just
it.
tell me how you do your production, man.
Yeah.
Are we
You
rolling?
can adjust it though. Yeah, we've
been rolling.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you can lengthen it if you want.
I'm
if you
good
need
on
a
the
length.
length.
You good on
It's
length?
the girth.
You're a little bit concerned about the girth.
Well, no, actually, it's the other way around. I'm built like a canteen. You know what I mean? I got the width. It's the length I'm worried about, bro. I got a little thermos.
Dude, did you a little thermos?
Hot, cold thermos, man.
Did you have any friends in high school sports where they'd like call them like pop can or anything like that?
Because they're a dick?
Yeah.
No, but we did have, all right, so in middle school, it was, can I get a little more volume in my headphones, actually, please? There we go. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. That was when they first started making us take showers. And it was just weird because it was 6th, 7th, 8th grade, Sykesville Middle School, and they made you take a shower after gym class to get you used to it, I guess. You know, I don't really know what the point was, but everyone was going through puberty, so they were scared. You know, a lot of people were uncomfortable getting naked, and like I had a friend that would sprint into the shower, like get his back wet and sprint out. But the weird thing was the gym teacher would stand there and he would hand you a towel on the way out. Like it wasn't just in a bin that you grabbed one. He stood there to make sure everyone showered.
That's personal customer service.
It's a
right
little
there.
weird. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
And he's cracking you on the ass with them and stuff. No, he didn't do that. But we had this one kid, a black kid. I won't say his name because he got into some drug dealing and shit. And I don't want that coming back on me. But this kid in 7th grade was fucking hung. I mean, hung. Like, and he had no problem walking into that shower and talking there. He's like, I saw you there doing those one-handed push-ups. You know, his dick's just all that. And we're all sprinting through there as quick as we could. Some kids have hair, some don't. Yeah, so the only dick I ever saw or knew of that was, I mean, it was a big fucking dick in 7th grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Already. And I can only imagine, it's not like a puppy's paws. Like, I think the dick got bigger with him. I don't think it was just like, bam, and then he grew around the dick, you know?
I've never heard that compared to puppy's paws before. You know how your dick grows in? Like,
You know, you see those big puppy paws and they grow into them.
You know what's
like,
about to happen there.
got a 9-inch dick, and then I grew around it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
7
caught up
foot,
to it.
so it's not that big.
Yeah. I remember one time in high school, I forgot my towel.
You had a towel?
I had a towel. I completely forgot it. It was after like football practice, like early in the morning, and I had to use paper towels
To towel your body?
towel my entire body off. So I'm completely naked.
Hey, Brody! There he is, right there. He was toweling off with paper towels.
I literally just like am like this brown like cheap paper
the
towels, the
worst
ones that
paper
make your
towels.
skin
Yeah.
smell bad as soon
Yeah.
as you start wiping on them.
They're just like wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like soaked standing there, and I'm just like, they're like, hey, Watkins, you forgot your towels. Like, yeah.
No one in high school showered. Nobody in high school showered. We were made. It's probably because we were made to shower in middle school. Nobody in high school showered. God, you would have this like little metal like basket in a locker sort of thing on wheels, and you just had your combo lock on it. And those things people didn't wash it stunk so fucking bad.
Oh yeah,
so bad that locker room stunk. And they didn't have.
You just walk by,
You're like, what? Yeah, there would be one that would jump out at you, like somebody like when you're in line sometimes and you just smell somebody's stank, and you're like, where are we at?
Oh,
where are
that's
we
the
at,
line
bro?
corner over there. That's what that is.
Exactly what that is. But yeah, we would have you'd have it like that, and then I'm trying to remember. There was one kid that he actually got suspended for hygiene. Like
he got suspended for
hygiene. He came from.
How do you explain that to your parents?
He would smell. I mean, it was bad. Well, they didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
They lived in a house that was rumored not to have running water or septic. I don't know if that's true or not, but either way, they made the kid shower one day. They told him he had to get in the shower. So I'm telling you that I think the only person I ever even heard of getting in those showers at high school. I don't even remember poking my head in to look around. They were just nasty. Nobody showered. Yeah, it was rank.
Dude, so good to have you on, man. I've been having some people tonight. When are you going to get that sickle cell on the
That's
podcast?
nice.
Huh?
That's nice to hear.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. You're one of those guys who you've done my show Stand Up on the Spot quite a few times.
It's fucking awesome.
You're one of those guys who is really good at the show because the way your style is, you're kind of a storyteller with your stand-up, and a suggestion that somebody will yell out will just kind of spark this story that you haven't thought of in years, and then you just like this gem just presents itself.
The first time I did your show, I don't even know if you know this, actually. It's so funny. The first time I did your show, the first thing someone yelled out was anal sex. And I told a story about how Mike Piazza, unbeknownst to Mike Piazza, if he's watching, got me anal sex in a bet. I was seeing this girl at the time, and it was right when he left the Dodgers to go to the Mets. And we're out here, and she had heard him on Stern, and she said, I don't like Mike Piazza. He sounds like a chauvinist. And I was like, you're out of your mind. Mike Piazza's one of the greatest
Italian-American hero.
Italian-American.
Italian-American.
Great motherfucking catcher, pure swing. Tommy Lasorda saw it all, and he was just coming back to L.A. to play. And there were a lot of boos and there were a lot of cheers, a lot of thank yous and a lot of fuck yous. It's sports. It's what it's supposed to be about. And we're sitting there, and she's like, I don't like him. And I go, well, you know what? He's gonna hit a home run this at bat. She's like, there's no way. And I was like, there's definitely a way. She goes, listen to me. And we've been dating for a little while now, and we're experimenting a little bit. And she goes, if he hits a home run, I'll have anal sex with you. And I was like, done. Like, what is the lose in that?
I know.
What's the I don't get anal sex?
Yeah.
You mean so like now?
What are the odds here?
And he got up to the fucking plate, and he hit that fucking thing. And I stood up. I was like, oh my God. And she was like, oh my God. Boom. Fucking home run, dude. I was going nuts.
Hallelujah.
Touch the ball, Piazza. Woo! Touch the ball, baby. That had to be 8 rows deep, buddy.
Anal sex for the first time.
Got me anal sex. I'm cheering like that.
My Piazza is my favorite player of all time.
All time. Touch the ball, son.
Touch 'em all.
So
Dude,
that was a true story.
it's like, man, the heavens parted. And you're like, God, I guess this
it
is
wasn't
meant
her
to
heavens
be.
part, and she was worried about.
Hello.
But yeah, that shit was. I mean, it was one of those ones where no matter where you were sitting, if you were outside getting a hot dog, you heard that wood, and you were like, "Oh my God, that's gone." There was no doubt.
Dude.
It wasn't like it just crept over the fence. It was no doubt. It was a bomb, man.
My Piazza, one of the best men ever. Yeah.
Love you, Piazza.
Gotta love my Mike Piazza.
Great Italian American. Hit me with one of those.
A great Italian American.
That's exactly how I heard it in my head.
Dude. If you meet him someday, you got to tell him that story.
I wish he would call in right now so I could tell him about it.
You know what? That's what's weird about this podcast is like the reach of this podcast is unbelievable. We got a lot of celebrities that listen and stuff like that. And sometimes, you know what? I'm sure it's showing up on my caller ID right here.
You got caller ID?
Yeah, it's it's trying to upgrade the technology slower and slower on this podcast. It says in Piazza. We might be lucky.
What a coincidence.
Hello, is this Mike Piazza?
Jeremiah?
Yeah. Is this Mr. Piazza?
You call me Mike, man. Mr. Piazza's my dad.
Okay, hey Mike.
Hey, how you guys doing, man?
Hey, we're doing great. We were actually just talking about something crazy about how you're involved a little bit.
I was just calling to say hey and see how you were doing. You know, we're getting ready to start some spring training here after the Super Bowl, and you know, I like to check in before we head out there and just give my little advice to teams. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're still playing. You're still swinging the bat.
No, I'm not still playing at all, but I certainly still swing the bat. I've always had a solid swing. You could count on me, man. I tell you, if you ever needed to bet on somebody, I was the guy you'd put your money on.
Well, that's just crazy. Is my buddy Ryan here? Hey
Mike.
He actually
Ryan.
he actually had a story happen where he bet that you could hit a home run for anal sex.
I'm not sure I understand that.
Let me clear that up a little bit. That sounded a little weird, Mike. Hey, this is Ryan Sickler. Yeah, when you had gone to the Mets and came back to L.A., my girlfriend at the time had heard you on Howard Stern and didn't like you. She thought you were a chauvinist.
I'm the furthest thing from. I'm a great Italian American.
That's what the fuck I said. Great Italian American. How dare you talk about Mike Piazza like that? One of the sweetest swings ever.
Tommy Lasorda saw everything.
I said the same shit, Mike.
Dude, it's like you guys have the same dialogue. It's
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable how connected you guys
It's
are.
like you're watching live.
Man.
But anyway, long story
Hey,
short.
Mike, how do you say Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Why? Is somebody else say it?
I say it the same way, Mike, but I branded a podcast off it. I got a shirt that says Tuesday.
Yeah, all right, I'll have to check that out, man.
Anyway, long story short here, you're at bat. I'm sticking up for you and defending you. She can't stand you. I say, hey, he's going to hit a home run at this bat, and she says, there's no way. If he does, I'll have anal sex with you.
I remember that at bat. Hit it out on the first pitch.
You sure as fuck did, dude.
You could tell it was gone if you were getting a hot dog out.
That's what I said. I said the same goddamn thing. I said the same thing. There was no doubt.
Hit it, it's like 8 rows deep.
That's what I'm saying. And the whole section around me is cheering. They're high-fiving for me, not for you, no offense.
None taken, man. None taken.
And it was just such a great moment. It's something I'll never forget, and I appreciate you.
Did she keep her word?
She did, Mike. She did. I probably shouldn't say that on the podcast,
Now,
but she did.
Sickler, did you say like whenever you got to that point, did you go Piazza?
I think actually, yeah. At when I was finishing, I screamed Piazza. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
Pretty sure I appreciate that, man. It's
Like right whenever you exploded, you're like Piazza.
I'm not sure if it was me or if, again, the heavens above rang that out because it's Mike Piazza. He's a great Italian American.
Yeah, of course, man. Well, thank you, Mike Piazza, for calling in.
hey, thanks for taking my call, man. We'll see you out there at spring training.
All right, sounds good.
See you, Ryan.
See you, Mike. Thanks, man.
Man, you know what's
How
crazy?
fucking cool is that?
That was amazing,
That
dude.
is unbelievable.
It's so cool that he decided to call in. You know what's interesting is I've never heard of
His timing is
I've
something
never
else.
I've never heard of or seen instant replay on a podcast before, but that's what all right, Mike. I'm gonna tell you the story that I just told.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, it was great.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah, dude.
Finally, that's been years. I've been wanting to thank that dude since like 99. It's 20 years. 20 years just closed on this fucking podcast, Jeremiah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Happy to bring you guys together, man.
That felt good.
Closure.
Man,
you've been needing to thank that guy for a long time.
I can't even, man. What a bucket list. That's a bucket
Bucket list, man. That's what this podcast does,
That's
man.
what I mean. Making dreams come true for this chair, bro.
Right? Dude, you have a new podcast.
I do.
Called The Honeydew.
It's called The Honey. I also would like to say, if you don't mind quickly, I do have a new album out as well. You can get it. It's called Get a Hold of Yourself. It's on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere you get it. Spotify, Pandora, Sirius, all that stuff. And yeah, my new podcast is called The Honeydew. It's at Tom Segura and Christina Pajitsky's studio. And it's my old podcast, The Crab Feast, which you should still go subscribe and listen to. It's a great storytelling podcast. But what's different about the new podcast is I wanted to keep the things that I enjoyed from The Crab Feast and that I felt the fans did, and that was really the storytelling. And as opposed to a show where you come on with, a great ghost story, a great drinking story, a great, life-saving story, whatever. This is more focused on, I say, highlighting the lowlights. Like anytime you've ever been overlooked or just shit on, we all have stories like that. And I want to talk to people. It makes you appreciate comedians even more, who can laugh at those dark times now and who've dealt with them and have moved on and turned it into some form of success.
Sure.
So you'd be perfect.
Yeah.
You'd be perfect. Mike Piazza would be perfect too.
I know, right? Is he calling in again?
Wait, he's still Mike.
Mike,
you still
Mike,
there?
are you still there?
I would. Can you guys? I'm on. Sorry, guys. I've got Sprint. I'd love to do it.
Oh, dude, I'd love to have you on. God damn, are you serious, Mike Piazza?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up for sure now. All right, Mike. I mean,
all right, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
Sometimes Mike refers to himself in the third person.
He does.
He's got a little egotistical over the years.
He's probably flexing in the mirror or something right now, looking at his stash if he still has it.
Did you ever rock just a stash?
I did for Movember. Was it not last year? The year before I did. Yeah, Larson and I had a competition of who could grow a better stash. Which, first of all, is the saddest fucking thing I've probably ever said out loud, even after telling you that Mike Piazza story. And secondly, let's just say it ain't how you start; it's how you finish playing. Because he started off good, but you know what? Guess who's got fuller and bushier after the 30 days?
Ooh,
I won that.
That guy.
I won that. I probably won't do it again either. I'm not. What am I saying? I would do it again.
How long you been out in L.A.?
I've lived here this time since '97. I've been in L.A. a long time.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
And how do you feel?
I feel fucking like I've been here since 1997.
What were those first few years like?
Man, well, the first...
What was your transition like? Because you're coming from East Coast.
Yeah, I'm coming from Maryland, and the first... Well, the truth is I had a little taste of it because in 1994, when I graduated from JUCO college, junior college...
I'm familiar.
All JUCO.
I'm a JUCO guy as
Are
well.
you? There you go.
Johnson County Community College. Shout out.
That's JC JUCO, huh?
JCCC.
JCCC. JCCC, man.
JCCC.
3C. I couldn't. I wanted to come to California to do comedy, and I wanted to be able to go to school and have a reason to come here because I didn't just want to drop everything. So I got accepted to Cal State Northridge in '94. I'm sleeping over at my buddy's house. I'm getting up in the morning to drive my 1990 Honda Civic with original rims across this great country in February. And I'm going 70 right through the Rocky Mountains in a fucking front-wheel drive Honda Civic. And my friend's mom wakes me up. And it's yesterday was the anniversary. It's MLK Day. And she shakes me awake and she's like, Ryan, you don't have a school. And she's got CNN on. I think I'm dreaming. And it's the Northridge quake, and it's destroyed Cal State Northridge and Northridge. I think 10 or so people died, maybe more. I'm not sure. And I was like, what the fuck? So I came anyway, and school didn't start for a good month after that. So what they did was we didn't take a spring break, and we went 2 weeks into the summer, a little longer, to make up for the time. But literally, I sat on a sidewalk under a tree for one class for the semester. The rest of it were, there was nothing in the school because it was destroyed. The parking structure was gone. Like, I was homeless for a month I met a friend through who became a friend through someone that
Because you were living in the dorms.
I was supposed to be in the quad with 3 other people, make all these friends, and I come and they're like, yeah, nothing. You don't even have the housing. And I was like, I'm an idiot. So I was in a trailer, those little, portables. That's what they put on the property pretty much. And so I had lived here for 6 months and had a taste of what LA was like. And I didn't do comedy at that time. And then I went home, finished college there, because when I came back for the summer, they're like, look, it's, we're trying to get in-state kids in, their priority. We need money. And then, enrollment had just probably tripled to get people back. And since I was still technically an out-of-state student, I didn't have priority to anything. And they said, we'll give you financial aid to live here, but you have to take the semester off. And I was like, I'm not taking money just to live here. So I drove back to Maryland, finished college there, wrapped up, came back out here. And that was 97. So I had a taste of LA, and I knew my way around. I knew the Valley. I knew Hollywood. I knew the West Side. So that was a little easier coming back with the knowing where the comedy clubs were and all that. And that time when I came back, I started to do stand up, and one of the early places I did was called the LA Cabaret, which is long gone, but it was in Encino. I met Tripoli there back when Tripoli did that fucking stripper in a wheelchair joke, dude. Do you know that one?
No.
Oh man, it was something he did so long, so he doesn't do it anymore. But it was this whole bit about her coming out, and he would act it out where he'd drag his legs out of the fucking chair and he'd pull himself up. It was so fucking physical and so fucking good. And that was how I met Sam Tripoli. And then a lot of comics. They was a really nice club. They actually had a side room that was really good, and then they had a big, nice main room, and it just didn't. It went away. So that's where I started, and then I started doing other shows, and it just led into, eventually. I got my first management was at their Levity now, but they were Power Entertainment back then. That's when I met Full Charge, and that was like 2 years at 99, I think, and it was in the Belly Room. They saw me in the Belly Room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Comedy Store, I've always loved the Comedy Store. It's always been a great spot to do comedy. So yeah, that was what the first couple years were like, and then it's the rest of them have all felt the fucking same.
One of the first agencies that I had out here was called Bobby Ball.
What?
It was called the Bobby Ball Agency. BVA. Bobby Ball.
You could drop the A, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bobby Ball, and what were they specializing in?
Commercials. Yeah.
How'd that go? Are they still around?
I think they might still be around. I think I'm still in their Facebook group.
Are you?
Maybe.
That's nice, man.
Yeah, man. I went to some of those first places that you start out going to.
I can't believe it. Does that say B Ball calling in on your caller ID right now?
B Ball is actually calling in. This is very strange.
There is no way that's happening right
hello.
now.
Is this somebody from BBA calling in?
Hello?
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 Hello? Is this
Bobby Ball here. Y'all call?
is this the Bobby Ball?
This is the Bobby Ball of Bobby Ball Agency. I am the BB in the BBA.
Hey, yeah, we just mentioned your
Hang
agency.
on 1 second. He's for Duracell. Yeah, no, Larry's Listerine. Sorry, I'm just over here running my business. Go ahead.
Well, I have a prospective client for you. His name is Ryan Sickler. Very funny comedian. He's looking for.
Never heard of him. Hang on 1 second. No, it's the orange juice. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's looking for.
I like pulp. You like pulp, Jeremiah?
Actually, yeah, I do. Yeah,
Heavy pulp, mild pulp.
I'm a big pulp
Oh,
guy.
man.
Tastes like a smoothie.
You got all my pulp.
Okay.
I'm pulp free
Put your
over here.
pulp on the
Bobby
side
Ball.
for me, Bobby Ball.
Bobby Ball's pulp free, man.
I was gonna push a prospective client on you, but I'm just more interested. How did you start that agency?
Well, it's funny you should ask. I used to be a commercial actor myself. Big deal.
Really?
Yeah, I did all the stunts for stuff like, crazy glue where they glue the guy's helmet and all. I'm the guy when they shoot it from the back. That's me hanging there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's me hanging there. I've slipped 3 discs. I've got a jagged vertebrae, and I think I got what is equivalent to a Budweiser can back in one of my spines. Because I do have a second spine. I've hurt myself a lot.
You have a second spine?
I have 2 spines. I have one that supports the spine. It's sort of like when they remodel the Leaning Tower of Pizza. Or is it Piazza? Hey, you ever have Mike Piazza call in here? He's a client of mine. I could have him give you all a shout if you feel like it.
Actually, we're actually full on our Mike Piazza for this podcast episode. We've actually already heard from him.
He's a great Italian American.
No, I know he is. I know.
Told me a story about 5 minutes ago about some anal sex and a home run or something. I got to get back to it. But anyhow.
I heard the baseball hit could be heard from outside the stadium.
He said if you was out getting a hot dog, you'd have heard it out there. That's what he told me, man.
Yeah, that's
and
what
I mean one out in the parking lot on the sidewalk, okay?
Yeah.
Not $9 hot dog out at the concession stand.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I was a commercial actor myself, as I was saying. I did a lot of this. I was a stunt man for commercials specifically. Anytime you see those Chevy Silverado trucks that just get dropped and bounced, I'm the guy that's in there doing that.
You're the guy who's doing the dropping and the bouncing.
I'm in the car.
You're in the car. You're feeling you're feeling that load come in.
Man, I'm
hot and ready.
And I'm strapped to the bottom because gravity will pull me up to the top during the drop, and they can't see me or that. So we learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
I've had 14 concussions just off a Silverado commercial. And finally, it hit me one day, and I said, I got to get the fuck out of this business before I die. So I'm going to stay in the
before
business.
You get a third spine.
Who can have a third spine?
Yeah.
So I says to myself, let me start the Bobby Ball Agency, and I'll have other idiots do that kind of shit. And that's what I've done. I've been pretty successful right now. That Energizer Rabbit's one of my top guys right now.
He's your client, the Energizer Bunny.
The Energizer Bunny.
The guy who hits the drum.
Yep, that's him.
That's an actor?
That's a real person.
That's a real person that's in that suit?
Person, and he's a real guy, man. We shoot that to scale. So what happens is I need the $3 million budget. When I say that, people are like, ain't he electronic? I said, hell no, that's a real guy in there. Excuse me, I'm sneezing over here.
Yeah.
That's a real guy there. It's a client of mine. He's flesh and blood.
I mean,
his name's Geraldine.
His name is Geraldine?
Geraldine. And so when they say, what the hell do you need $3 million for? Don't you just pop a couple Energizers in there? I say, well, hang on a second. Duracell's a client. So I get Duracell batteries in the back of that Energizer. Nobody knows the diff. So the Energizer Bunny, just, big.
He's powered by Duracell?
Powered by Duracell.
Big spoiler.
2 double A's, I promise you that. And the money comes in because I got to build a set. Like if you see a little kitty cat bowl, it's got to be 20 times the size of Geraldine.
Yeah.
And that's where the money comes in.
Right.
Set build.
Of
Geraldine
course.
comes cheap.
Yeah, he's just a normal guy.
But that Energizer Bunny is a real guy named Geraldine.
Has he ever sprained an arm or anything? Because he keeps going and going and going,
He's got a lot of tendonitis. And I'll tell you the truth, between you and me, Jeremiah and Mike Piazza, I think every now and then he probably puts somebody else in that suit because the drumming just ain't the same.
This is a podcast. This is being heard by thousands of people.
Well, you can go ahead and edit some of this out here.
Oh, I think we're actually losing you.
Hello?
Hello?
That's Bobby Ball signing off, man.
All right.
20%, y'all.
Man, hold on. 20%? I thought it was 10%.
Well, he's,
A lot of, sorry, I'm still here, guys. A lot of my clients falsely think it's 10%, but when you see the money I'm getting you, you'd be like, hell, you can take 25, Bobby. I say Bobby Ball all day, baby.
Man, he sounds like he really knows what he's doing. I mean, man, good for you. What happened? Why'd you leave them?
Yeah, just like it was parts in the tide, changes of the wind in the road. Are you still
You
here?
see Procter & Gamble and Tide? They're one of my clients. Tide did a Tide detergent commercial about 6 months back.
Bobby.
They had me eating pods. I was vomiting. I tell you,
No.
I'll say this, though. I like the silver line. Bobby Ball's all about the silver line. Lost 45 pounds. How about that now? Come on.
Man,
I'm starting to think that they're just patching directly into the show. I'm not even screening that call anymore.
I don't know what's
I don't know
going
how-
on here. That caller ID is just not.
Dude, it's on the fritz. That caller ID is on the
It's
fritz right
definitely
now.
on the fritz.
Dude.
Geraldine, man, I had no idea that.
Dude, it's like an
a real
R2D2
guy.
situation. That's exactly what
Well
it is.
said, dude.
yeah,
That's exactly what it
There's
is.
actually a person inside R2D2. If you didn't know that,
Yeah.
my aunt met him once.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
In the suit?
No, out of the suit, she ate.
I wouldn't know what he looked like.
He's just like a little person.
But do you know what he? I mean, I wouldn't know what he actually looked like. I wouldn't be able to identify.
no,
him.
I wouldn't be
could
like if he was walking
identify
down the
Peter
street.
Dinklage.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. No,
If
she
he-
went to. She has this great old story of in this great old Polaroid photo of her at this she happened to go on a date with a guy who was connected with the Star Wars films, and she met the guy who plays C-3PO, R2D2.
Anthony Daniels, is that right? Do I have it right? I probably have it wrong.
Yeah, and the
I'm
guy
wrong a
who
lot.
played Chewbacca. They were all there.
No shit.
Yeah, super tall guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just my aunt's
It's a great
story.
story. Wait, who?
That's just my Aunt Marilyn's story.
Aunt Marilyn. What's up, Aunt Marilyn?
Yeah. Dude, you and I have worked on a couple shows together now.
You did do dance.
Yeah.
You did. Of course you did.
I'm glad
You're
it
the
was so
shit.
memorable.
I forgot you had, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
because here's the thing about this business that some people may or may not know. Like, you shoot shit, and it's a fucking year
Oh, I know.
before that shit. So
It's not
I,
going to come out till what, the spring or something like that?
I think it's spring or summer it's coming. And
Yeah.
we shot last year,
I know.
well last year.
Oh, yeah.
And Comedy Central pillow right over there. I
Yep.
shot This Is Not Happening in the summer of 2017, and it will air sometime this year. 2 years later,
What?
almost, yeah. Because they ended up breaking it into 2 seasons. So like guys like Larson and Lemmy and all those cats that we did it with, they're all in season 2. So there's another one coming, unless they decide to pull it. I don't really know, but there's another one coming, I believe, this year. We all shot for it. So, but I'm saying like,
Yeah, it takes a while.
yeah,
It takes a while. We did you worked on the Comedy Jam with our brother Josh Adam
Yeah,
Myers.
Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
You you want to tell the story about what happened to you on there?
We should tell this story because you did not help my nerves
Oh, it was
at all.
relentless,
You
bro.
were playing me like a fiddle that night.
It felt so good.
So Josh Adam Myers is doing his story, and then he's going to sing a song. Like that's the theme of the Comedy Jam. And the story has to do with the reason why he chose the song. And basically in his story, he gets arrested for cocaine possession in his story at this party. So we organized something very last minute.
Which I didn't know either. No one knew.
Nobody knew about
No one
this.
knew.
Nobody.
That's right.
The director didn't know. None of the producers knew.
I'm sitting there watching. I had no idea.
Just maybe somebody in the makeup department who helped us get the baby powder.
And by the way, this is a recording before the show starts.
It's like a pre-tape.
And the cameras are rolling. And it's leading right into the beginning of what they are going to air on television. So what you do directly affects all of that.
The rest of the production.
The rest of it.
The
In a
rest
way
of it.
that after I talked to everybody, I still didn't know how deep it really went.
So Johnny Scortis and I are the roadies on the Comedy Jam, and we organized something with Josh where we were going to act like we were snorting fake cocaine, baby powder, and we were gonna like throw it in our faces and like just be like dancing crazy and stuff and going wild, doing what we usually do for the Comedy Jam. So Josh is singing Slither by Velvet Revolver, and he's like killing it. He's like going all in. He's like sweating, being all rock star, you know. And Johnny Scortis and I start acting out kind of like our interpretation of the story that he had just told. Except I put a line of fake cocaine on Johnny Scortis' lower back.
Ass crack.
Ass crack. Snort that thing.
Snorted it. You really did snort it.
I accidentally got some. Yeah, for sure. Gotta commit, baby.
I mean, if it causes cancer on your privates, I can't imagine what you just snorted. Up
yeah,
there.
I know.
Johnson & Johnson.
Johnson & Johnson. So I have like this fake cocaine all over my
all
face.
on camera.
It's
all
all
in
on
front
camera.
of Comedy Central.
And I start feeling the energy of the crowd because they're like,
Yeah, they're into it. No
they're
doubt.
super into it. So I start taking handfuls of baby powder and throwing it into the audience, and they're like, ah, they're going wild. They're loving it. And Johnny and I are running around the stage throwing this baby powder everywhere.
Everywhere.
There's plumes of smoke.
Plumes.
Like-
Perfect words. Everywhere and plumes.
It's billowing at this
Billowing
point.
is- yes.
It's everywhere. And-
Mushroom cloud,
mushroom cloud.
if I dare.
And this is an all black stage. And basically, at the end of the song, the dust settles. And, you know, Johnny and I and Josh, we're all looking at each other like, we just destroyed, because the audience loved it.
And it looked great.
And it looked great on camera. But we hadn't prepped any of the producers or the director on this.
Dude.
And as soon
And I'm
as-
already on headsets and everything, hearing them go nuts about it while you guys are up there doing it. I was like, this is going to be awesome. They were fucking pissed.
Dude, I step off stage and they're like, "Hey, Jeremiah, you know how somebody acts like they're being nice to you at first, but then
But
immediately
they're speed talking too. Yeah, that's how
it's
you
like,
know.
Hey, Jeremiah, who gave you approval for that?" I was like, "Oh,
Myself, I did.
I was like,
I did. God damn,
"Man,
I got
that is
some up my nose.
good, Johnson, and ooh, I like that other Johnson.
I
Ooh,
think that's cut with baby powder.
man, that's good. Baby powder cut on cut." I was like,
Who gave you approval?
I was like,
bro?
Josh did. I was like, Josh said it's cool. And they're like,
Best worst answer you could have fucking given, by the way.
I know, because
Best
Josh
worst.
is technically an EP on the show. So
Not technically. He is an EP.
Yeah,
on the
he is an
show.
EP on the show. He's a
And
show
didn't run
creator.
it by anybody.
And he didn't run it by anybody. So as soon they're like, okay, that's all we needed to know. And from that point on, like, I started catching heat from everybody backstage because they had to.
Dude, they were in the truck. Well, this is what I know, and they were saying shit like he'll never work in this town again. They were saying shit like that. Like they were going nuts. They were going nuts because, first of all, you just put ice all over the floor where people are going to be dancing, running, and singing. I think is her name Taryn Manning.
Taryn Manning,
Taryn, right? Was roller skating, and she was going to be out there on ice on roller skates pretty much, and they were fucking hot. So they have this whole crew come out. They stopped the show for, I mean, honestly, do you remember 20?
at least half an hour.
I was going to say 30, but I if I remember it being at least 30, 20 to 30 minutes is a shut. People are, the energy that you just created is now being like, what the fuck is going on? Behind the scenes is a shitstorm. And
They're having to re-clean everything.
mop it, everything. And what we find out even later that we didn't know is the keyboardist was like, dude, that shit settled on my keys. And his fingers were slipping. He
kept
couldn't
slipping
figure
during
out
the
why at
performance.
first. He's like, it's this fucking powder. And his fingers are slipping off to the wrong fucking keys, he said. Dude, it went everywhere. And like, I just kept hitting you up like, dude, they just said you're never going to work on this town again. Like,
Dude, and Sickler had an earpiece. So Sickler's acting like this
Like I'm
this
talking
news
to him.
reporter who is hearing from the studio. He goes, yeah, okay. All right, Joe. Yeah, I'll tell him. Hey, Jeremiah, you're done in this town.
hey, we're going to need you to finish up here tonight,
Yeah.
and then you're pretty much done in this town.
Yeah.
I'll tell him, Joe. All right, yeah. Did you hear that?
And he's like, hey, Jeremiah, they said leave your leather pants at the door over there.
Like the thing that really did help you out though is that you had worked with him on Roast Battle. So
Yeah.
he had a bit of hindsight and was able to pull you aside and be like, look, man, this isn't that. This isn't a fucking free for all.
And that's what the conversation he had with me after it's all said and done.
Right.
But the whole shoot, everybody backstage said, stay out of everybody's way. Stay out of Joel's way specifically. Don't like make any scenes like you have been in
it's a
any of
great
the other
story
episodes.
now. Yeah.
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 But like the Duffies who were helping produce it,
God, it was the best.
they told me they're like, it looked amazing on camera.
did.
And then as soon as it happened, we're like, oh no, this is the worst thing
Yeah.
that you could ever do during a shoot.
Mm-hmm. And I just kept hitting you all
Dude,
night long. I walked
it was
by
like a knife. Every time
Dude.
Sickler walked by me backstage,
They are pissed off outside.
I'm
now.
like, I'm so concerned
they're
because
talking about suing you.
He's like amping
you're putting
it up.
them over 2,500 over budget.
Well,
They're
that
gonna
was
take that out of
that
your
was
money.
a big thing
Yeah.
about it. Is because we shut down production for that long. They were saying that they might have to go into overtime,
Right.
and that one bit might cost them like $15,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, $15,000 for a baby powder bit?
for a clean up baby powder.
I
bit.
know.
Yep. How about that? I would have just brought a snowblower in there and been like, "Everybody get back!
Come on!"
It's gone, man. It's gone. That curtain's white, but it's gone.
That old lady died over there.
It was a lot of baby powder. Dude.
It was, man.
God, it was funny. It was really fun to keep fucking with you for like 2 hours. I just kept being like, "Do not go out that."
I
door
was a
over there."
nervous wreck.
There wasn't even anybody. I'm like, "Do not go up those steps right now, dude."
I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah.
No, I'm gonna let him know you're gonna tell Melissa Etheridge, Joel. Yeah, he's gonna tell Melissa Etheridge. He knows everybody. Yeah, you're gonna tell Pearl Jam. He just told Pearl Jam never to work with him.
Let's get into this next segment, fanning out.
Fanning out.
Fanning out. Questions from fans.
I reached out to people on social media and asked them, hey, if you can ask Ryan Sickler any question, what would it be? And I got a gang of questions.
You
that
did?
are fun. Oh,
Can't
yeah,
believe anybody
absolutely.
responded
Oh,
to
no,
this.
of course.
Not because of you, because of me.
At Lord Grub Nelly, how do you like your meatballs cooked?
Cooked. I like Sue Larson's meatballs. I just like them rolled up and whispered on. That's about it.
Rolled up and whispered on.
That's it.
At what it is, 2 Z's, does Ryan Sickler have the soul of a black man? Between his yell and his laugh, I can see why I never see him with Bert Kreischer.
I just did Bert's podcast, actually.
Oh, dude, I bet there was some high-pitched, great
it was a good
laughing
one. That was a
going
good
on there. Yeah.
I've been told I do have the soul of an old black man, but more than that, I've actually been told I have the soul of an old black woman. Believe it or
Really?
not, I have been told that. I feel like maybe equal. That's what they tell me though. People are like,
Well, it's all right.
man,
It's okay.
is this my soul?
This is your soul.
Wow,
Ryan Sickler.
my soul's got a way better voice than I thought.
Oh, it's sexy as hell. Yes, it is.
Can you just start talking for me, soul?
Yeah. Oh, man. You know who I love? Mike Piazza.
I was about to say that. You're my soul. I
I
figured
know.
it.
We on the same page.
Man, I'll tell you what, we wouldn't need Mike Piazza if we just talked like this all the time.
Oh, hell no.
God damn.
I know, man. Just want to cook up some pancakes and Frito-Lays.
Oh, Frito-Lays and
Frito-Lays
pancakes,
and
man.
pancakes, baby. Oh, man.
I love that you cook them, man. You cook your
no,
Frito-Lays?
you don't cook your
I
oh,
bake
come
them,
on,
man. You're my soul. You know I bake
I
Frito-Lays.
know how you like those baked goods.
It's like
yeah.
refried
Refried
Frito-Lays.
Frito-Lays.
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
It's a specialty in the sickle cell house.
Man, we'll put a little chili and cheddar on
Oh,
top.
chili,
too.
pancakes,
Come
and
on.
Frito-Lays. Come on.
That's how I like my pancakes.
Forget about it. Are you for real?
Only my soul would know that.
Only
Man.
your
I don't even
soul
tell
would know
anybody that shit.
Oh, absolutely. That is one of the Darbo's biggest secrets that we have.
I feel like my soul has like a 10-inch dick. It sounds
man.
easy. It sounds like that kid in middle school and it just grew around. Sounds like my soul grew around that
Yeah,
dick.
they call me 2 liter.
3 liter,
They call me 3 liter, bro.
It just says soda on the
It just
side,
says
but it's a
soda.
3 liter.
It's one of them
motherfucker.
Dr.
It goes-
Thunders, you know what I'm saying? Y'all remember Dr. Thunder from Walmart, right? Come on, man. Y'all one of them 3
Give me
liter
6
dicks.
liters of Dr. Thunder. It's
Yeah.
gonna go flat in 3 minutes, so you better
It's-
get it while you
Hey,
can.
man, as soon as you pop that open, you got about 30 seconds. Otherwise, there's no carbonation left at all. You gotta open it into your mouth hole
I'm
to get
just
that
caramel
Dr. Thunder.
water after
Yeah.
about 30 seconds.
What we
man.
doing here?
Dr. Thunder. The thunder has passed.
The thunder, man. Man, what happened? Do you remember Mountain Lightning?
I do, man. It was blue, wasn't it?
No, man, it was green. It was as
goddamn.
close to Mountain Dew as possible without getting sued. It was called Mountain Lightning.
Do you remember Jolt?
Of course we remember
Jolt.
Joe.
I remember Jolt.
Of course we do, man. Come on. It's your soul here. It's sickle cell soul. Hey, man, those off-brand pops is where it was at.
It's what we used to
Hey,
take.
do we call it pops or sodas?
We call it soda.
That's right.
Everything was soda. Though.
Everything was soda.
Everything
to
was
us.
soda. It didn't matter if it was Sprite or Sunkist.
Yeah,
it was
you
still
just call it soda,
Yeah,
man.
give me a soda.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit we would go to the AMP and we would get those sodas.
Oh, yeah.
And take those were our field trip sodas to like the Smithsonian and shit.
Straight
Remember
to
that?
Straight to the dome.
Remember that?
Oh, of course.
Remember
I
when we
do.
saw Archie Bunker's chair?
Of course.
In Cliff Clavin's male outfit. Remember that at the Smithsonian?
Of course, man.
Pretty awesome, man.
Sometimes those moments in your life you look back on, you're like, this is a life-changing moment right now. I've seen Bunker's chair.
Something else, isn't
We
it?
wanted to sit in it,
We did.
but those little red velvet ropes, they said don't go past there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, I've been meaning to ask you something
What's
lately.
that?
Something's been on my mind lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for me to say this.
It's
But,
me you're talking to, man.
I guess so. I
just me.
mean, I guess I should open up to you. I mean, I am a part of you.
You've been in me.
I've been in you.
Yeah, open up.
Yeah, you're outside of me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we'll ever have anal sex again?
I'm gonna say we're gonna have it again. And if I had my way, it'll be something that might be out. Maybe it'd be a hole in one or something. You know, he can't hit home runs like that. I mean, he could in an old timers game though.
Maybe you should start betting on ourselves.
Maybe you should start talking for me, like literally speaking for me, and we probably have a better shot at it.
Hey man, like you just gotta let me open. You know, you gotta let me open up.
You
know,
ready?
Because,
So we let you run?
yeah, can I
I'll
run?
take the training wheels off. You can run, man.
Can I?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'll let you run all day. We can go swimming, all of it. I'll let you out there, man. You just need a little taste.
Hey man, I'd love to catcall on your behalf. So, girl.
Sorry, that's my soul there, man. You know, that's a good one, though. Man. That's
Right.
good. You're welcome me anywhere.
What
soul.
them titties do?
I'm sorry, that's my soul.
I'm sorry, man. No, this just gets it out of me.
That's just my soul
Hey,
coming
can
out.
I
every
sniff
day.
that butt of yours?
I'm sorry, that's my soul coming out.
Yeah, my bad. That's just us, you know.
I apologize. My soul. gets
Hey,
low.
man. Hey, girl. Hey, you want roller skates over there? I'm about to eat your butt. Get some meal on wheels action over here.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I know you're with your grandma. I apologize.
I know
My
you're with
soul.
child right now.
Didn't know you were pregnant till you turned around and backwards skated. That's my soul. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm real sorry about that.
I was going to ask you to couple skate, but looks like you're already coupled up. How about we triple skate? Huh? I'm sorry. That's my soul right there. Girl.
We
I
doing Adult
apologize.
Swim right now? What are we doing?
Let's make the most of this 15 minutes, girl. I can't believe my soul spoke
Your soul
up,
is
man. Great.
Your soul's a little bit of a horn dog, man.
Oh man, my soul's fantastic.
Man, that's good.
Man,
Oof.
I'm glad that guy asked that
I
question.
know, right? At Brian Fitzpatrick, is the poo tree real?
The poo tree.
The poo tree.
I'm not sure I know what Brian.
There was multiple people who asked about poop stuff.
Uh-huh.
Is there a poop story or something that you've shared on the
tree? I'm trying to think
Is
about
the
the
poo
only
tree.
thing I could think about it that I would have was I was with a friend one time. We were going to see another friend's show or something, and we're in dirty Hollywood, and we're in this parking lot, and we're trying to park where all the other cars are. So we go to this empty area of the lot. And we're just swinging wide to pull into a space.
Yeah.
And when we swing wide, the headlights hit this homeless dude who's squatting in a parking lot, taking a massive shit. But he's got this little twig that was equivalent to a pencil, and he was holding it in front of him as if the twig was like this invisible cloak, and we couldn't fucking see him. And we took 2 laps around to look at that again and laughed our ass off. But I can't think of anything other than a poo tree. I wonder if he's got the right person.
No, I
Poop
mean
tree.
that's pretty funny.
I gotta think that would be it.
It's just
Unless
like
I'm
a little
missing one.
kid thinking that. Not
Exactly.
know, you know
Like,
what I
you
mean?
don't see me back
Yeah.
here.
If you,
Or like when you're like,
I can't see you, you can't see me.
I play hide and seek with my daughter. I'm like, where are you? And she'll be like, back here. I'm like, stop saying that. You got to stop doing that.
You're giving it up. This is funny. At Chris Anderson, would you share a sleeping bag with Jeremiah while camping or bring your own? Asking for a friend.
Well, I would say this. I'm going to bring my own because I wouldn't know how you'd feel about sharing one. But,
Right.
we could eventually work into the conversation and see if it's a double sleeping bag or a single sitch or what we got going on. My soul would probably have a better answer for that.
Yeah, we all
Yeah,
about
there he is.
consent, man.
Yeah, consent. That's what we're all about here.
But if you want to get it popping in that sleeping bag,
Yes, and.
oh, hell yeah.
My soul's going to fuck you with his dick.
Yeah.
Y'all
I got that 3-liter dick, man. You better watch out for Sickler's soul, man. I got that 3-liter dick.
It's dude. Those
I don't
3
even think
liters.
a porn star would fuck
Oh,
that.
dude, those
Oh,
3
God.
liters. My mom would get those for like those random sleepover birthday parties or whatever. Those giant like go,
Wonder why they're up still.
right?
It's fucking Dr. Thunder. That's why.
Dr. Thunder,
Mountain
Lightning.
bro. That's
Woo.
it.
Oh. At Crane Care Ops, what's the most inappropriate place your laugh has gotten you in trouble? Church, sex, court? Keep killing it.
Appreciate that, playa. That's a good question too. Church is close. I used to laugh a lot in church, and because I grew up Catholic, my grandmom and her sisters were all very Catholic, and one of her sisters was a nun. So whenever she'd come to town, we'd all have to go to church, and you had to do it proper. You had to go to confession because we all wanted to go to communion just to get the damn communion in the wine. But she was like, there's a ritual to that. And if you're going to do that, then you got to go do this. So we'd have to do that. But then every time something, because it's me and my brothers and cousins, and we'd all laugh. But it was that laugh in church. Like you could see it out of your peripheral vision. You could just see the trying to hold it in, but they're shaking so hard and that's making you fucking laugh.
Yep.
So
Would you get hit upside the head?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You get popped to the back of the head. So I would get, and no one was immune to that pop. So
I heard that you could hear that pop outside of the church sometimes.
that's what they say.
That's what they say.
They call it the Piazza pop. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm pretty sure. The great Italian American, man. So I would say church, definitely I've been in trouble because I couldn't hold it in. And also just not necessarily in that kind of situation, but when I'd get in trouble with my parents and my brother and I would get in trouble and they would be yelling at him, it would just kill me. It would make me laugh so hard. So school also, I would laugh at inappropriate things in school. Those
Were
are the
you
places.
mischievous in school or were you a good kid?
I was a little bit. I mean, we had, apparently it's still talked about according to one of the teachers there, but we put a clapper on, and I'm a lot older than you, bro. I graduated in 91. We put a clapper on the slide machine, and we just kept doing that quietly and shutting it off, and she kept coming back and chat. Dude, we were dying.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, she finally wheeled that thing out in the fucking hallway, and we just wrapped that class up, dude. It was a good one. But we just fought with her, and then later she found out we had a clapper attached to it.
I used to have a friend who had one of those calculator watches that he downloaded the TV code for his calculator watch. So he'd be like Buzz Lightyear.
awesome.
He'd be like,
Turn
and
it
the
off.
TV would turn on in the middle of class, and the teacher would be like, "What?" And everybody's just like sit. It's literally a watch he's doing it with, and
That's
it
awesome.
drove this
Who
teacher
even knew how to
insane.
do that?
I don't know, this Asian kid, man.
No shit. You know what we used to do? We used to have everyone had the same cable box and the same controller. So you could come to my house next door with your controller if we lost ours and control the cable box.
Yeah.
They were called Scientific Atlantas. And one night I had the idea that we should just go around the neighborhood and we would sneak into people's windows and we would just turn their TVs on and off and shit. And it would freak. One dude got fucking, he's up there beating on his goddamn TV and shit. We're dying laughing. That was a good one. That was
Dude,
fun.
that's such a
That was
funny
a lot
way
of
to
fun.
haunt people.
Yeah. We'd be right out because it would work on we'd all, like I lost mine. We got 3 of them. You give one to your friend. Did that. In school. Oh, so here's a crazy story I could tell you about school. So there was one night that it was, I think it was going to be the homecoming game or it's homecoming game or the kickoff of the season. I played soccer and the friends I hung out with were football players and we're going up there to take on the fence. The true story is on the fence. It says like, welcome back or some shit like that. So we take it and we make those letters say, and I can't, to this day, I have to ask my friends because I still talk to all of them. What the hell we trying to make it say? But like, fuck you or something like that.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? The letters were there. And, you know, we spent a lot of time because it's all just tissue paper shoved in chain link fence. You know what I mean? We're over there ordering. It took them forever. It's like 2 a.m. and we do this. So as we're leaving, we look down on the stadium field where we play, and there's 2 guys on 4-wheelers, and they've broken in, and they are shredding the fucking stadium that we play on, and that's our ankles and our knees and shit. So we're like, well, fuck this. And this fence was way up. It was like the border of the school property out by the road. You know what I mean? We just see headlights down on and they're tearing it up. So these dudes, 2 dudes, tearing our field up. They don't see us coming at all. We sneak in. We're sprinting up behind them because they're just doing donuts. It's not like they're trying to ride away. And I grab one of them like a horse collar tack when I just rip him off of his fucking ATV, and the thing flips over, and the other one sees it. And we just start pounding this dude. The other one sees it, and he takes off and goes. There was a practice field on the field below it. So he drives down there. This dude was smart, popped his spark plugs out, hopped the fence, and hauled ass. That way we couldn't steal his ATV.
Oh.
So we got this kid in his ATV, and there's like 6 of us, and we're holding this kid. We're not letting this motherfucker go anywhere. So one of our friends goes to a neighbor's house and basically leaves out the part that we were fucking with this fence. But while we were up there, we saw this shit go down. So we lied and said we happened to be driving by and saw
Of course.
whatever.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the fence still says "fuck you" up there, right? Which we forget about. So we call the police. The police come. They arrest him. They call a rollback. They tow his ATV. And that's how we knew about it. We're like, there's another one down there. And the guy's like, he popped his spark plug out, so we couldn't take it. So they had to put it in neutral, push the thing up. And so they get it. They tow it all away, and they arrest this kid. They then call us to court as witnesses for this guy. And even the judge was like, look, I don't know what the fuck you guys were all doing there at 2 a.m, but good for you. You did one good thing. You saved your fucking school field, and we'll deal with it from here. So off we go. I'm not kidding you. I can't remember the time frame. I'd like to say it wasn't that long. 3 months, 6 months later, right where I live, we see these lights go like flying off the road. We're like, man, it looks like somebody might have crashed up there.
Yeah.
So we're all 16 and 17 at the time. We have cars. It's like a half a mile. We drive up, we get out, and there's this, like, I want to say it was a Beretta, and it's down this ditch, and this dude's in there, and we're like, dude, are you okay? And the guy's like, oh man, he starts talking, and this voice sounds so familiar. And my buddy who's with me was there at the stadium too, and it sounds so familiar. And he keeps talking, and I look at my friend, and I go, it's the same guy. He's like, what? I'm like, this is the guy from the ATV. He's like, there's no fucking way. I'm like, yes, it is. And the guy starts saying shit like, come on down here, man, and help push me out. And then my friend's like, holy shit, it is him. And we're like, and he looks up, and he sees us. He's like, I remember you guys. I'm like, yeah, we're the guys that fucking beat the shit out of you for tearing our fucking stadium field up. And now what are you drinking and driving? Went off the fucking curb. And he was trying to get us to come down and help him put our fingerprints all over this fucking car. And he had left it. So he bailed on it. He ran because we couldn't get down that fucking hill. He bailed and left. And then the police come and they're asking us questions. We're like, we just dealt with this. It was crazy that it was the same fucking guy. And he didn't go to our school. He was older. Like, we didn't even know who the fuck this dude was. It was this random encounter with this dude again. Both really late at night. Sure, they were both alcohol induced. But, yeah, we'd get a little bit of trouble here and there. A little bit.
A little bit.
Not too much. We did a lot of good shit, though. A lot of fun shit.
Yeah.
That's as much as I'll say, so I don't get myself into
I know.
That's pretty innocent.
I know. That's what I'm feeling. I was like,
that involved court, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
You don't need to hear about the rest.
Yeah.
I don't have a record, though, knock on wood.
Yeah. At Revel, its finest. Unlike Larson, Sickler has been hit in the head a million times. What is the hardest hit you took? Hashtag all JUCO.
Hashtag all JUCO. Hardest hit I ever took, I don't even remember it because I was jumped in Irvine and ended up in the hospital with fractured jaw. I permanently have TMJ. I still have a massive scar and bump here. So that I would definitely say it's the hardest.
Dang.
But I went to see the Eagles This was when I first lived here, when I came out during that stretch of earthquake college. And the Eagles were in Irvine.
You went to
I
Earthquake
went to
College?
Earthquake EU play.
How do you get in there?
You just got to crack them up, man. So they're doing this Hell Freezes Over tour. And we get tickets and we go and we get wasted. And I'm sitting in the back of this Toyota Land Cruiser, an old one. And my friend's driving. His girlfriend's in the passenger seat. And his brother and I, who are still friends, are in the back. But that old Land Cruiser, the seats in the back don't face the way the driver and the passenger, they face each other. So like you and I right now, but they're looking this way.
Okay.
And the last thing I remember hearing is him. He said, we're in bumper to bumper traffic trying to get out. It's summer, everyone's tops down. We're inching out. And these two guys were wasted and they just came through the crowd looking for trouble. And I remember they're beating on people's cars as they're coming up. This is what everybody's told me. But the last thing I remember my friend Rick saying was, watch out, these guys look like trouble. Well, we were so fucking I passed out in the middle of the show for like 3/4 of it. I couldn't lift my head. And I guess one guy grabbed Kevin and pulled him backwards out, and one grabbed me and pulled me backwards out like a scuba diver. And I went right on my head, knocked out, unconscious. The dude started kicking me in the jaw. People got out to help. There are tons of witnesses to all of this. They were just drunk, adrenaline, idiots. And I literally woke up in the hospital. And I remember the nurse saying, like, I just remember waking up going, I'm so thirsty. And this lady's giving me, of all things, Mountain Lightning. I couldn't even fucking... I was like, roll that 3 liter.
You want some of that Mountain Lightning, baby?
It was ginger ale, and she said, sip it. Just sip it. You're concussed. But I was so thirsty. I just gulped it, and then I immediately puked everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And she's like, listen, you have a major concussion. You've been out for hours. I'm like, where am I? And they start filling in the blanks that I was jumped and assaulted, and I was given oxygen and rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. I don't remember. And the report's all right in front of me. I don't remember I don't remember anything. And I'm in there for a while, and I'm still so intoxicated that they can't put me under. He stitches me up without anything. He's like, I'm not even going to numb you. And I was like, it's okay. And it was just pressure. It wasn't terrible, honestly. But I got up and I went in the bathroom and I looked at myself in the mirror. My jaw was out like fucking Tug McGraw times 2, man. It was monster. And I was like, what happened? They're like, they kicked you in the jaw and fractured your jaw. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And now I have that permanent click in my jaw, which I never had before. And whenever I don't drink much, but when I do, if I get a hangover, it's in my jaw. It's never in my head. The headache is moved to here. And so I'm just like, fuck, it's miserable. But, so I finally got out of there. And my friend Kevin, I saw him walk by. I thought it was a dream. I waved and he waved back, and they started filling me in, a little bit. And they're like, how much were you drinking? I was like, not a lot. And that was the night I learned the power of wine, because we went through our beer and weed, and all we had left was wine. And Kevin and I were clowning it like, you pussy, you're drinking wine. I had no idea. And we drank that wine like beer. And that's what put me out. And people are like, are you sure you weren't I couldn't fuck with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't be instigating. Yeah. I was slumped over like somebody just trank darted me in the back, and I was just head between my knees, and they just came in and... So that's the hardest I've ever been hit that I would say overall, but I will give you one that I do remember. And I would say that was my brother, my own brother. And we were fist fighting at the time in front of everybody in front of our apartment when we were like seniors in high school. And like our dad had died, our mom's not there. Like we had a lot of pent up aggression, and we just had enough of each other. But everybody thought I was going to beat his ass. So they grabbed me and held my arms, and my brother saw the window. And my brother he brought the fucking wood on that. And I saw stars. I was like, I'm telling them to get the fuck off me. Not because I want to go after him, because I'm about to get knocked the fuck out. Like, he brought it, man. I was like, God damn, dude. He's like, I don't even remember that one. I'm like, yeah, well, that one was the one. So I would say the one I remember was that I thought it would shatter my nose in like 50 pieces. He came with it.
Dude, I got a concussion once from getting elbowed in the nose.
Like that?
We were doing this it was a stage thing that went wrong.
Another stage thing that went wrong.
It was at this church camp back in the day, right? and basically they were going to do the national anthem during this softball game. All right. And me and another guy were supposed to be like crazy fans. We were supposed to come out on the field. And another guy who's supposed to play security was going to come out on the field basically and like act like he was punching us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this guy basically hit one more time than he said that he was going to.
Okay.
So I thought the bit was
You
done.
let up.
Dude, I thought the bit was done, and I lean forward to get up because I think it's done, and he's coming down one more time, hitting the ground, and this is a huge dude. And his elbow directly connects with my nose, like directly, and I'm leaning into it too because I'm popping up, and I started gushing blood and crying. Probably harder than any other injury. It was one of those things, you know, when you get hit in the nose, your eyes start to water.
Yeah, so I'm saying I just felt like it, like what's that? Unbreakable, wasn't it? The glass. That's what I felt like my nose did in my face,
dude. I just started going like immediately.
Amazing grace, how sweet,
dude. Blood all over my shirt.
In the name of the Father and the Son.
I think I'm dying.
And the Holy Spirit.
Oh man, that hurt so much. Dude, they picked me up, get me off the field.
How old are you?
I'm like 15, 16. And I go and I'm like, I'm just so tired. I'm just going to fall asleep, take a nap for a little bit. And that's like the worst thing you can do after you get
I didn't know that either.
You're not supposed to go to sleep for a while. And then you're supposed to have somebody check. Then you have to have somebody check on you every 2 hours whenever you get hit very hard. So I conk out before the next church service or whatever. I skip lunch. I'm like, I'm too tired. They could not wake me up for a while.
Really?
They had multiple people who were like coming over like, hey, Jeremiah, wake up. Watkins, get up. We gotta go to church. And then one of the counselors was like, oh, it's like, something's up with this guy. And he said he had to start doing a sternum rub on me.
What the fuck? That's a made up shit.
I know.
That's a made up
He
church
dug
shit
his
right
knuckles into my sternum.
Can't stand this.
Okay, I'm gonna take Satan out of this boy.
I'm just doing a sternum rub.
I'm doing a sternum rub real quick. Dude, he starts rubbing on my sternum like
my
with
grandma's
knuckles.
a voodoo priestess and showed me this
Let me
shit.
get
Give
this
me a
real
chicken
quick.
fountain.
And I wake up, and then they take me to the hospital. They're like, you are badly concussed.
Wow.
And you shouldn't have gone to sleep. And the nurse asked me, they're like, was your nose this big before? I go, oh, yeah, it was. Yeah. It
That
was.
is hilarious.
Because they're looking at this, it's swollen, but she's like, is your nose this big before? I was like, yeah.
So you mentioned that. So after we get out of this hospital, the police are there and they tell us that they tell my friend Rick that you guys are all still too drunk to drive. You need to go sleep it off. So later I find out about all this. I mean, maybe the doctors and all said it. I don't fucking remember any of it. But they tell us and Kevin and I can't sleep anyway. We're so fucking uncomfortable. We're miserable. And we got to get in the back of this rickety ass Land Cruiser and drive back from Irvine in an open top, bouncing the whole time. And we're just literally beat all the way back. So I get home and I go to sleep. I'm exhausted, like you said. But I call my brother when I wake up, my younger brother, and I tell him this whole story. He goes, are you serious? I go, yeah, do you believe that shit? He goes, no, I mean, are you serious? I go, what are you talking about? He's like, Ryan just called me a couple hours ago and told me this whole story. I didn't remember any of that.
Oh, wow.
And I slept and slept and slept. I didn't even go to school for a couple days. I just slept. And I didn't know you weren't fucking supposed to sleep.
Real bad for you.
Yeah, I need to go get some CTE shit checked in my later years and see what's going on. Because that was, and I had and when I got back to Maryland, I went to the doctor in Maryland and I would lay down on the bench to work out and stuff, and I would get so dizzy that I would almost vomit when I would just lay down to go to bed. Like I felt like I was sliding out of my bed. Like it was bad. And my doctor's like, you have a major, major concussion.
Yeah, it's the only time where I remember being like, oh, I'm slow right now. Does that make sense?
Yes, cloudy.
Where things are cloudy and I'm like laughing at like stuff that's like just dumb. Like they had like these swabs that like these long swabs that were in the doctor's office, and they were for like anal exams or something, and I was just like anal swabs. And I was like, can I have some? And they're like, you want to take some with you? I was like, yeah, I got to show the other guys back at camp. And I like had these anal swabs that I would walk around the rest of the night just like touching people with. And I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Oh, I went right back. Hey, man, you got to get your Jesus in before the end of the night, man.
I had a friend of mine tell me a story about a friend of his. There was a group of them together. The guy got a severe concussion. I can't remember what happened to him, if he fell or something, but they're all trying to keep him awake, and they're watching a game, and I don't remember what game it was, but let's just say it was like it was a Super Bowl or something with a fantastic ending and of his team. And the kid's watching it, and he's just going nuts. And then they had recorded it. And so he starts talking, and he's repeating like I was. He's telling the stories that they're like, dude, you've said this 4 times now. And they're like, oh, you're suffering from... They're like, let's try something out. So they pop the VHS in of that game again. And he starts watching it like he's never fucking seen it. And for 4 or 5 times, he's cheering at the end of the championship as if it's the first time he fucking saw it. And they are loving everything. They're like, and they wait like a half hour, like, put that shit in again. They put it in. Like, oh my God, look, man. And he's like, holy shit. And he would watch it and cheer as if he had just seen it for the first time in his life. Yeah. It's pretty good shit.
We all pass the times differently.
And fuck with one another differently.
Exactly. Let's get into this final segment, Sax Talk.
All right.
Sax Talk. So Sickler's going to share a story of a sexual encounter, and I'm going to follow him with some sweet, sweet saxophone.
As opposed to the Mike Piazza sexual encounter story?
As opposed to that one. Mm-hmm. So whenever you are ready, my friend, I will follow.
I'll tell you a story, a high school story. I'm 18. My girlfriend is 18 at the time. We're seniors together in high school. We're going to prom, the whole nine. We're that couple. We won. Look, we legit. I'll wait for your sax on this because I want you to hear this part because it's important. I mean, not really. You ready over there? You got your reeds ready? You soak them first? I used to soak mine in Epsom salt's a little secret. I don't tell anybody, but I'll let you have it. And vinegar. Don't forget the vinegar. Apple cider. So we are a couple, and we get voted. I believe we got voted king and queen. But there was this couple in high school that had been together for so long. They got king and queen, and we won this thing called Prince and Princess, which I think was some made up bullshit. So anyway, this is my girlfriend, and we're definitely sexually active, and her parents knew about it, and everybody was, I didn't have parents, so it really didn't matter on my end. And she had this Subaru Justy. This is a little Subaru. It's a 4-wheel drive car. It's a little 4-wheel drive car. And it's a pregnant roller skate is what it is. It's the tiniest little car. And one night we're out driving around, nothing to do, and it's fall. And we decide that we're going to have sex in the car. And we go to the old baseball field where I played minor league, baseball. And by minor league, I mean, little league minor league, not AAA ball. Batted .327, probably had 20-some home runs, a bunch of steals. Really good at baseball. So this was a good, this is a good place to go. I'm feeling good at that park. I have positive memories. And you can pull in. Oh, yes. When you pull in, the field's here on your left. These are the dugouts is the first baseline. You pull in, there's a gravel parking lot that butts up against this tree line. And on the other side of this thicket of tree lines is this old house that sits up on a hill. And we are having sex in the car, and we get done having sex in the car. And we are buck naked, and we're trying to get dressed. it's already a chore that we had sex in this car because it's so small. You had to lay like the passenger seat all the way back and have sex on the passenger seat. There was no getting in the back. And we weren't going to get out because we didn't feel safe getting out. You know, it's a creepy vibe at night. And she says, "Why'd you turn the light on?" And I said, "I didn't turn the light on." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And we turn around and look out the back window, and there's some strange dude with a fucking flashlight shining it in the car at us. Now, this dude starts beating on the windows and shit, and we're like, what the fuck? She's 18, buck naked. I'm 18, buck naked. It's not like I'm dressed and ready to drive. Like, I don't know where the keys are, and he's just beating on the fucking window. We're assuming we're waiting to see if it's, you know, as it's happening, I'm like, I don't hear a laugh. I don't hear anything. This isn't some friends that followed us. This isn't anything, you know. This is maybe that lunatic up on the hill. So I'm hopping over into the driver's seat. I start the car, and she's screaming. I'm trying to get us buckled in. The doors are locked. This dude, I can't see what he looks like. He's beating on the fucking windows and shit. So I just take off. And I remember bottoming out on the way out, and it cost me like $500 to fix our fucking car. But that dude then chased us. And we're naked. I'm driving, like she's getting dressed as I'm buck naked, buckled in. I've got like shoes and socks on. I am buck naked. And I'm driving naked, scared I'm going to get pulled over. And then I shook that dude and got dressed. And we were like, what the fuck was that? Sex doll.
Okay, that is terrifying. First of all, because you think like first you wonder, I'm sure, okay, is it the cops? Then you start thinking, oh, I wish it was the cops.
Hell yeah, you wish it was the cops.
Because that then I can just explain myself.
Right. We're 18 and we're idiots.
Right.
Yes.
But as soon as you realize this is a crazy dude, this is like somebody who's looking for trouble.
Yeah. Yup.
You know what's crazy about like the human body? Like whenever your whenever your body senses danger, like everything like recoils. So like, you know, you probably went from having sex to like then like everything's like shriveled and like
Dick's
you're
hiding up inside me and shit. Yeah,
exactly.
And now
like,
I can't have sex without somebody in the room holding a flashlight. It's fucking so weird.
hey man, could you do a strobe pattern for me right now?
Stand over there and figure eight that thing on the wall for me real quick and bang on the drywall real loud. Shatter this glass right here. I'm getting close.
That's wild, man.
This is so much goddamn fun, dude.
Dude, thanks for doing the show, man.
Is that it? Are we a sax wrap now?
I think that, you know, the credits are happening
rolling?
right now. They're rolling. Do you have
Man.
any final things you want to plug, buddy?
Well, I want to, you can follow me at ryansickler.com is my website. I'm at Ryan Sickler on all social media. Check out my podcast, The Honeydew, on Tom and Christina's studio. And it's the honeydew.podcast.com for that. My new album, Get a Hold of Yourself, is out there right now. iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Sirius, all the places you get it. And I just want to say thank you to my soul. I'd really like to thank him. It was nice to hear him talk for a little bit like that.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Oh, man. Thank you for joining me.
Man, I feel like we had a great time on the show today.
This was definitely a coming out, if you will.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I would recommend people like to come see us live too, because you know we're a fun act to watch on stage.
We're all right. We do all right up there.
We got jokes. We got stories, man. You'll be leaving there being like,
that 3-liter dick is something else, man.
Oh, don't get me started. People still be wanting refills, even though it's 3 liters.
That's so nice of my soul to come on the show. I'd also like to thank Mike Piazza. Great Italian American, man. I can't believe that guy fucking called in, and it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
A great Italian American man.
Guys, I cannot figure out how to hang up this damn Sprint phone. I've heard everything. Hey, appreciate you letting me call in, man. Happy to have helped out in any way I could. And maybe we'll get a beer sometime, and maybe you'll get me anal sex.
Hell, if I can do that, Mike, let me know. At least I can put you on the guest list. Come see a show.
Of course.
I'd appreciate that, man.
Well,
all right,
dude, Sickler, Piazza, Soul, thank you all for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, bro.
Jeremiah Watkins.